Welcome to Adding Dollars. In this video, I'll be going over my weekly update on the highest volatility stocks, so stocks that are paying the highest premiums for covered calls and cash secured puts. Before I jump into this week's scan, if you're new to cash secured puts or covered calls, make sure to check out the videos in the description. Now let's go ahead and jump right into it. As always, I'm in the Thinkorswim platform and I'm on the scan tab, and I'm going to be scanning the S&P 500, so let me go ahead and switch to that list. Click scan, and here we have a column of implied volatility sorted by the highest up top going down to the lowest. So right now the top stock on this list is Insulet Corporation, and if we click here we see that it just had earnings, and this is aftermarket data, so now that it's just had earnings, the volatility might have actually come down, so this data might look different tomorrow if you're looking at the same scan. But let's go ahead and see what kind of premiums this stock is currently paying. And I'm going to be looking at the 15 days out. Here we can see all of the different premiums at different strike prices. I have this custom column on the far right side that quickly calculates your percentage profit for selling a cash secured put, and it also gives you an estimate of how much you can expect to make for selling a certain strike price on the covered call side as well. If you're interested in this, check out the link in the description to download the script and add it to your platform as well. So here we can see if you want to make about 1%, you could sell as far away as the $110 strike price, and you'd end up collecting some amount of premium between these two values, so probably closer to $110. Your risk here, or how much you would need in case you got assigned, would be this 110 times 100, because it's 100 shares per option contract, so you would need $11,000. On the covered call side, it would cost you $14,044 right now to buy 100 shares, but then you could sell the 145 calls for about $850 to somewhere between $950, so probably close to $900. Again, because earnings happen, these numbers might look different tomorrow. Let's go ahead and look at the rest of the scan tab. Feel free to pause the video and take a look at the whole list of the highest volatility stocks in the S&P 500. Some of the other ones we see here, we have Paramount, we have Warner Brothers, we have Enphase, we have Moderna, and if we check here, it looks like they also just had earnings. I'm going to try and focus on some that maybe have earnings coming up, since those would still have increasing volatility as we get closer. Here we have Expedia that also just had earnings. We have Nvidia here, which looks like it has earnings coming up on the 21st of November. It is a little bit more expensive of a stock, and current volatility is 50%. And typically volatility will continue to increase as we get closer to earnings, but we can go ahead and check out what kind of premiums it's currently paying. I'm going to look at the 8 days out options. You would need to sell the 422.5 strike price in order to make about 1%. So you would collect about $410 to $415, but the risk here, if you did get assigned, is that you would need about $42,250 in order to buy 100 shares. On the covered call side, it is a pretty expensive stock. You would need $43,506 to buy 100 shares, but then you could sell the 437.5 strike price and collect about $805 to $810, or about 1.86%. Jumping back to the list to see what else is on here. We have Target earnings on 11/15, so that's also coming up relatively soon. We also have eBay earnings coming up next week on November 7th, and it is priced at about $38.99 with a volatility of 45%. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one as the last one. Looking at the options 8 days out, here we can see that you can currently get about 1% at the 35.5 strike price, so you would end up collecting about $36. And if you did end up getting assigned, you would need $3,550 in order to buy 100 shares. On the covered call side, it would currently cost you $3,899 to buy 100 shares, and you could go ahead and sell the 39 or the 39.5 calls against this and collect somewhere between 3.87% and 3.2%, or somewhere between $150 to $125. Feel free to pause the video and take a look at the rest of the list as well. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.